With DJ Ass Maggots, and here he is to read for you.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm so torn right now what to read. The Colonel invited me for this reading, and I had him at a reading last year in a bookstore, and we had a lot of fun, so he's reciprocating that right now. And I was torn on what to read. I had something that was a little crazy about hijacking of a plane story, and I thought, I don't know if I want to do that one. And there's some other stuff. So I kind of decided to do this one that it's kind of a story about my travels through the Occupy Wall Street movement back in 2011. And you might say, well, that's really outdated. That was 5 years ago. What was the point of all that? But I noticed, he was wearing the Bernie Sanders shirt, and just my feeling is that entire movement, which was against the banking industry, finally made its way into modern democracy, I think, with the Bernie Sanders candidacy. And, so I thought that might be popular, and whatever that Clinton might take from that, or that she's promised, or whatever, with no TPP and the Glass-Steagall Act and all these kind of things. So I thought that'd be relevant. So with that applause, I guess this is the right one to read.
Yeah.
I'll save the terrorist one for another time. And by the way, this story is in a book, so it has a bunch of pictures of me actually out, among the cops protesting, and there's a lot of wild stuff that you can't really see, and obviously when I'm reading the story, so if you want to look at it afterwards.
Let's hear it.
This is called We Are Our Own Media. As I crawl out of my hotel room in the middle of nowhere, Oakland, California, and into a Denny's across the street, I wonder, what kind of vacation is this? Then I remember, this isn't exactly a vacation. I came up here to see what's going on with my own eyes. So as I look around this Denny's, I feel like I'm in a decent cross-section of America. A couple of booths of whites, blacks, Asians, Latinos. I grab a copy of USA Today, the nation's newspaper. I figure this is how mainstream America gets its news, so let's take a look. On the front page, mixed in with a cover story on Congresswoman Gifford's recovery after being shot in the head, and a side story on an accused pedophilic college football assistant coach, is one line. Occupy Wall Street camps face waves of shutdown as authorities respond to more reports of violence, vandalism, illness, balance between public safety, free speech rights at breaking point. Now I remember why I'm here. There's profanity. The media is BS. Let's freak out. I did that. Okay. The media is bullshit. I've been to 6 Occupies, Irvine, Long Beach, LA since day one, San Francisco, Berkeley, and Oakland, and those reports of violence, vandalism, and illness are mostly exaggerated, if not completely false. And since when did any of these cities even care about those issues? Please refer to my note, the freedom of speech has cancer, for all the phony reasons to violate the First Amendment. Do I dare open up this newspaper? On page 2 is an article comparing Occupy to the Tea Party. I can imagine a mainstream's family response already. Oh sure dear, they're both crazy. Tea Party are extreme conservatives, Occupy are extreme liberals. The article continues. At some point, they're going to realize that there are limits to what they can achieve with these types of demonstrations, and a more organized form of protest will be necessary for them to get the kind of results they hope to achieve. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here? Sure, USA Today is not coming out with overt anti-Occupy statements like, kill the socialist pigs, but they are generating an imaginary narrative. They are putting into the reader's head that violence, vandalism, and illness are reasons for the police to beat the shit out of people, and this is not a very organized protest. Page turn. Perhaps Occupy should elect a few leaders so the movement can be co-opted or dissolved into the Democratic Party. It's foreshadowing, it's weird.
Yeah.
Or perhaps, this is 5 years ago, or perhaps these leaders can be assassinated like MLK and Malcolm X or Gandhi. Oops, did I say that? Over time, all social movements have to decide what is the message, what are the general goals, who is the we and who is the them. At some point, the occupiers will have to do this as well. It's just the life of a movement. That was in the article. There's no way a national writer for USA Today has not heard of Google. The first thing I did when I got into all this was to Google Occupy Wall Street. Wikipedia said it right there. It's an ongoing series of demonstrations beginning in New York City's Zuccotti Park and the Wall Street Financial District. The movement was initiated by Canadian activist group Adbusters.
Yay!
The remainder of the story has been redacted at the behest of my attorney. What? No, fuck that. This is a story I have to tell. That night, I tell the front desk guy to call me a cab. I tell him I'm going to Frank Ogawa Plaza in Oakland, downtown Oakland. No, you don't want to go there. They killed someone there in that Occupy place last night, he warns me. I tell him to stop watching TV. The cab drops me off at Occupy Oakland. Everybody's real cool. I meet the medics who have taped red crosses to their bodies. They're busy stashing tear gas antidotes, which is Maalox and water, various bushes. I got it. Thanks, thank you. My assistant is... I spent some time at the People's Library looking through some Noam Chomsky, Howard Zinn, Chris Hedges, John Perkins, and Naomi Klein. The word from the insiders is the police raid will go down at 5 a.m. These things are strategically timed like a war to catch the occupiers at their weakest, while also giving the media plenty of time to get bored and leave. At around midnight, a few people come into the plaza carrying a huge ghetto blaster playing Public Enemy's Fight the Power. Oh shit, it is on! For the next few hours, I continue to meet all kinds of smart, cool people while we all down black coffee in big styrofoam cups. There are various leaders going around and giving instructions on where to go, who will stay to be arrested, who will handle the live wire feed. The music continues. Public Enemy, Beast 1333, Immortal Technique, rebel music, protest music.
Right on.
Apparently, there are insiders among the police because we get all the information. Where the staging area grounds are, how many riot police are greasing up, when they're starting... It doesn't say greasing up, but it sounds better that way. When they start heading over... At around 4:20 a.m., as weed permeates the area, we get the word they're a few blocks away, closing off the perimeter. Helicopters hover overhead. The official news crews start lining up. All of them have a van with a super long pole topped by a satellite dish. The reporters, male and female, black and white, are all well dressed and are tethered to their vans by microphone cords. They really can't go further than about 100 feet from their vans. Word gets out that if protesters want to leave, they can exit on the main street where the news vans are. I follow a small Occupy camera crew down the side street for a few blocks. Bam, there they are. Riot police, side by side, blocking the entire street, marching forward. This shit's right out of Star Wars. I'm just waiting for Darth Vader to pop up from behind some smoke. The riot police don't even chase anyone to respond. They just keep closing the perimeter, closing the perimeter. At 5 a.m., the police have squeezed the perimeter down to 1 block around Frank Ogawa Plaza. Some big shot gets on the microphone and starts ordering us. By the powers invested in me by the city of Oakland, this gathering has been declared illegal. All participants are now ordered to disperse or face criminal charges. I try to cower behind a leg of one of those hot news reporters, but she kicks me off. Bang grenades and tear gas start flying. I see the news lady start talking to the camera. The police have been forced to use non-lethal weapons against this unruly crowd. Stop resisting arrest, yells the microphone cop. The pandemonium goes on for an hour or so. They arrest a bunch of people. Some dude, his name's Skellson, gets hit in the head by a tear gas canister and is taken to the hospital. Everyone else disperses. The place looks like a war zone. The police captain gives an interview to the news reporters. They don't interview any of the occupiers. I take my Maalox soap scarf and put it in my backpack. I grab a Cliff Bar and just start walking away, tired. It's 7:30 a.m. now. People are on the streets outside the plaza. They're just hustling to work. I get to a light and I wait to cross. On that corner while I'm waiting to cross the street, there's a Citibank, a Bank of America, a Chase Manhattan, and a Wells Fargo. Fucking cartel, man. Just like back in the day when the mob owned the big intersections. Last page. I get back to the Denny's next to my hotel. Inside are the stunt doubles of the people I saw yesterday. Or maybe the same people, I don't know. The local news comes on. The camp at Occupy Oakland was shut down early this morning after protesters refused to disperse and became unruly, forcing police to use tear gas and other non-lethal weapons for crowd control. Not one word about why the protesters were there in the first place. The banks, the legal foreclosures, the Wall Street bailout, nothing. I'll never trust the news again after this. I mean, this was so easy to report fairly, and they fucking blew it. I can only imagine what happened in like Iraq or Vietnam or any other place where news is sucking on the teat of the oppressor. Conclusion, your best bet is to believe the exact opposite of what you see on TV. Thank you.